Body language and facial expression do not lie. They are a direct link to the reptilian brain. They are your emotions. Some people are very good at disguising them, most people aren't. So you telegraph your true feelings with body language and facial expression. So we are now going to expose 70 people who are in this class, some for the first time, to photos and stories. And I'm going to ask you to judge what's happening.
What's great about the new family history experience is that it's easy. I can do it any place, anytime on my device. You go to LDS.org, just scroll down and find Family Search, and immediately the new experience will come up. You'll have a chance to look at your fan chart, photos, your family tree, but today I want to show you this. Let's go to photos. This brings up some photos that I've put in myself. But I want to know more. I want to know more about my family tree and the photos there. So I'll hit people. This will bring up all of the photos that anyone's put into my family tree. Now these photos that have a slash have been put in.
Stop. Now, look. Smiles. Raised eyebrows. That's what wow looks like. The eyes start to shine. People are impressed. Let's see what happens as we go on.
And so I'm really interested in those. And so let's go down. Here's Don Carlos Walker. I'm going to pull this name up. I know this name. Here he is. Now I want to see my relationship to Don Carlos Walker. So we hit view my relationship, and it shows me. He's my great-grandfather. But I want to know...
All right. Jaw drop. That's a jaw drop from the relate. That's a... Oh! That is amazing. Let's keep going.
More about him, so I'm going to hit a story. This will bring up a great story about him that I can learn more about him. Someday, my children or my great-grandchildren are going to be looking and reading about me. And what do I want them to know?
All right. Now, I want everybody in this room to go to Photos and Stories right now. Get on it if you can. Get to my photos. All the blue shirts, all the family search people, would we just help people and go around and see if we can't get others to have this experience? When this class is successful, I can't get you back. When this class is successful, you're all looking at your photos. And you're all looking at your stories. Because you are experiencing, you are doing, you're not listening to me. Tracy, you have never done this before. Did you just see these photos for the first time a few minutes ago?
Yes.
So tell us about it.
It's pretty cool. I've seen some of them before in the past, but not online like this. And that's actually really cool. So a lot of them I've never seen before.
Do you recognize any of these people, though?
Actually, I know a few of them.
All right. Hannah, Mariah.
Aylett. Yes, and my sister's told me many stories about her, but
Tell us a story about her.
My sister could probably tell more. She's here in the room.
Come on up. Tell us a story. Both of you.
Okay.
And why don't we view your relationship? Can we view your relationship? So she is your... All right, stop for a sec. What was her sister doing? Where was she putting her hand? Why do you put your hand up here? Because your cheek's wet, because you're crying. You're wiping away the tears. Both of these sisters are crying. Why are they crying? Because in that moment they're connecting with and remembering their second great-grandmother, who was the first member of the church to come from Sweden to the United States. They're having a spiritual experience. You are watching hearts turn. Now what happens is, increasingly we want to do the live meetings where we get everybody on the software right away so they can experience it directly. I look at something like this and I thank the genius who insisted on responsive design. Because there were 80 people in that room, there were 10 people without any devices, but there were only 12 laptops. There were 40 phones and the rest were tablets, and the phones were evenly divided between Android and iPhone. And most of the Android platform, only one Android platform guy had trouble. But they all had these spiritual experiences from their devices. Let's watch some more. Mom, grandmother, second great grandmother as well. Let's go back to the picture.
So Hannah came from Sweden, I think it was, and she was a member of the church, and her parents stayed there, and her sister stayed there, and she was the first one to come.
Isn't that cool? Thank you very much. What we tried to do is do something slightly different, which is take 70 people and ask you to do something instead of just listen. You're related? Are you related? I'm related to them. Now, we had an experience here. Could we share this experience? Would you all stand, please?
Sure.
We have a family reunion here. Tell us what happened.
We were scrolling through our pictures and our pedigree.
And I noticed the name Beckstead, and I said, hey, they're Becksteads. And my mother's mother was a Beckstead, so we started naming off the generations. When they said that they had Alexander, I said, well, was Henry one of his sons? So they brought up his sons.
There he is.
Yeah, and there's my Henry.
We're Margaret Mariah at the very top, and they're Henry.
That's great. Could we have a round of applause? Now, hopefully what we started today here is a small chain reaction of the heart. What we tried to do is replicate that experience that Elder Foster had at the beginning. Connect with the heart. Then the chart will be meaningful and relevant. Now, could you tell at the close, people had their hands on their hearts, lumps in their throats, because they had made connections with their ancestors. All it is the excitement that comes from experiencing a turning of the heart firsthand that's facilitated by this software-created experience. Now, think of all the things that had to happen for these moments, because this was all real time. The system had to be up. The response time had to be very brief. It isn't just photos and stories. Photos and stories is magic when it's on a tree, and it's on a tree that's deduplicated. That's where the magic comes. Now, I will tell you, less than 1% of the church is aware of this. I will also tell you, we know from survey data, that 98% of those who try this will come back.